Warning. The Dub Talk podcast may contain language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. There will also be spoilers for various anime throughout the course of this episode. Please proceed with caution in case we discuss a series you've yet to finish. Finally, the opinions expressed are those of the individual participants and do not reflect the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. Enjoy the show.
Stars to the heaven, flowers to the earth, friends to humanity. This is a podcast about dubbing. Yes, that's right, you are watching the Dub Talk podcast. The podcast that covers the glaze and grays and dubs. I'm your friendly host for tonight, Jamal, and with me is my crew. Amon.
I'm dying. Excuse me.
Megan.
Tits out for Go Nagai, baby.
And Andrew.
I too wish I had a cock cannon, though I guess that's just what the cock is.
Lock and load. I got you.
Pump and dump.
And in case you can't tell, tonight we will be covering the dub of Free Cutie Honey, part of the Cutie Honey verse. This is a movie this is a anime that's based on the live action movie that came out like during the Renaissance of Cutie Honey.
So this one's kind of an interesting thing in general because, of course, Cutie Honey is a very prolific franchise. But I feel like of all the series and animes I had heard about, even back when, like, Universe came out, like, 5-6 years ago, the one I always heard revered the most was this one. And it was unlocalized and unlicensed for a long time.
Shut the fuck up! Cutie Honey Universe was 5 years ago, what the fuck?
Yeah, 2018. And that was actually a reboot of the franchise, if you could believe that.
I do believe that.
It was in 28. What the fuck? 2018 was 5 years ago.
Technically 6 now.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
It's true.
No bullshit here. Yes, it's based on a lot of this is based on the original Cutie Honey series from 1973. So that's, holy shit, that's over 50 years now.
Yeah, Go Nagai is kind of a fascinating creator. It's like, there's a lot of creators who are like big and popular in Japan, but there's like at least like a handful that basically just single-handedly invented the entire medium of anime and manga just by themselves, and Go Nagai is one of them.
Yeah. It's not only just Cutie Honey, but this is also like a love letter from Go Nagai to Go Nagai, because a lot of his other works are also kind of name dropped in some way in this OVA. Yeah, that's why it's a 3-episode OVA based on a live action film of the franchise.
It's kind of like is it correct to say modern retelling? Because it's not modern anymore, but it's basically turn of the century. What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is what?
Like
Someone's crinkling something in front of their microphone.
Oh, my apologies. I have gummy snacks.
Jesus, that was loud. Okay.
I'm sorry, Dad.
All right.
I mean, I guess in a way you could, but because, like I said, this is the start of the Honey Renaissance, and well, for those of you wondering what this OVA is about, give me a sec.
So yeah, I guess it's kind of accurate to say that this is like a modern day retelling adaptation, though that's technically not true. This is more of like a turn of the century, which this turn of the century was 20 years ago.
I think it's also fair to say that this is maybe a springboard for a lot of people who would later go on to become pretty prolific directors of anime, if not already were a prolific director in anime.
Yeah, this is
This
is a tour de force of like the era of Gainax.
Also, like
the era. This was when Kara and Trigger, before they were Kara and they were Trigger, they were together at Gainax.
making the wonderful, wonderful things you know, like the Gainax ending and the Gainax bounce.
And the Gainax pose.
But, like, something I just wanted to clarify a little bit first is that, like, a lot of people, like, call Go Nagai the creator of Magical Girls, when that's not 100% actually true. There were Magical Girl anime that were technically existing before like, Honey became a thing. She doesn't do it anymore, but there's a wonderful series by a YouTuber named Aaron Cerise, who at one point was actually going to do a history of Magical Girls from their inception to the current day at the time that she started. She had not even made it to Cutie Honey before she stopped, and a lot of them were actually Toei shows.
Yeah.
And then there's that one really, really weird Tezuka show, Melmo-chan.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is Melmo.
Isn't that
Marvelous Melmo?
Isn't that the Muppet that decided to be a therapist for the internet and then it backfired immediately?
Something like that.
No, Marvelous Melmo. Marvelous Melmo is a thing because it's one of the first known instances of all things fan service being in an anime. And it was about a little girl whose, like, mom died, and the gods gave her pills to grow either older or younger. And there were just a lot of skirt shots of her older self, but she was, like, a 7-year-old girl. Yeah. Anyway, Cutie Honey.
I was like, I don't have a segue there. I'm like, okay.
I'm just in shock.
I think...
But first... But for most of y'all that are wondering, what is Cutie Honey about? You're talking about it, but I don't hear any explanation. Here's one for you. A mysterious organization known as Panther Claw make their presence known by terrorizing Tokyo and giving the cops a run for their money. Police are further baffled by the appearance of a lone cosplaying vigilante who thwarts all of Panther Claw's evil schemes before disappearing. That cosplayer is Honey Kisaragi, the result of the late Professor Kisaragi's prize experiment. A master of disguise, Honey can magically alter her physical appearance and outfits, but with the push of a heart-shaped button on a choker, she transforms herself into Cutie Honey, the scantily clad, sword-wielding warrior of love and justice.
So, this is basically an icon of old Taku anime, manga history. That is what Cutie Honey is. Basically as much of an icon and quintessential figure to everything anime and manga, even if you don't know the name. You know her legacy.
Yeah, basically the whole purpose of this OVA, let alone the live action movie it's covered from, was to make it to that Cutie Honey appeals to newer fans as well as older fans alike. Start of a Honey Renaissance, if you will, you know. And there wasn't any more Cutie Honey until Universe in 2018, which is much of a soft reboot that is. There's some qualms about that I've heard, so...
I've heard it's a little give and take, but it will be referenced several times for reasons. But,
oh yes, definitely.
But why are we here talking about this 20-year-old OVA tonight? What the hell changed?
Oh, that's simple. Recently it was licensed by Discotek, and as such, it was given the dub by our friends at Cadence Studios.
Yay!
Excellent. So who's helming
To which, let's talk about ADR staff. I mentioned it before. We're going to mention Cutie Honey Universe plenty of times, and that's because the lead director on this project is one David Wald.
Hey!
Yeehaw.
Yes. He's assisted by Marissa Lenti and Ryan McKeon. Our scriptwriter is Caitlin Elizabeth. And there's one insert song that is dubbed, but it's just basically a rehash of the Cutie Honey intro.
I wasn't sure if it was a rehash or if it was just like the villain putting their own spin on it. I think that's what they were going for. It.
Yes. That's what they were going for. It's literally the same beat, same tone, same tempo as the intro. And Mr. Ward's also the music director on that with a adaptation from Don Bennett. David Ward, as a director, he's also directed Bloom Into You. Case Study Vanitas, of course we mentioned Cutie Honey Universe, he's also the director on that, and Given. But as a music director, he's also directed episode 12 of Actors, Songs Connection. Marissa Ledty is also assisted on other shows such as, again, Actors, Songs Connection, Bloom Into You, and Gleipnir. Ryan McKeon, he's also assisted on the Fist of the North Star movies, a couple of them. The Kenichi Demise Disciple OVAs that was just recently announced. And about 29 episodes of the Prince of Tennis redub. The first 178, that is.
They just finally finished the original series, which is quite the milestone in and of itself, on top of doing, 30 to 40 other miscellaneous seasons and episodes and movies?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Caitlin Elizabeth, she's also written for other properties such as Demo Memorial Keys, My Happy Marriage, as one of the writers are The Prince of Tennis and The Prince of Tennis 2. Don Bennett has also adapted lyrics for Astronauts in Space, Gunbuster, and Life Lessons with Michi Oni-san. So, I'm going to go last on this. I'm going to go last on probably every category, but who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I genuinely really enjoyed this dub. I bought this blind because I think when I had first seen, a little bit of this, when I was up visiting Patrick for when my sister got married, and he put it on, and we both ended up just falling asleep because we were tired that day. It was a long day. But I decided that this was one of the things I really wanted to watch before the dubbies because it was short, and I waited until my parents were out of the house because God knows that my mom does not need to come out to see Honeys at any time, so I did what any sensible adult did, stay home on New Year's with my dogs and watch Cutie Honey.
At least you don't need to have the talk with your dogs.
I mean, their nipples are out all the time.
Just because you're correct does not mean you're right.
Thanks, Shiro Emiya, coming to Switch in the West in 2025.
What the? Happy 20th anniversary. That's fucking crazy to me.
No, so I was actually really impressed by a lot of the dub. I thought it had a sense of being from 2004, but also being, mixed and well put together in 2023. There was a ton of fun on the casting. There's a lot of callbacks to just so many Go Nagai properties and just casting gags that are related to other franchises, and they pull people across from all over. It was really nice to see some people come back for the show. Obviously, the big one being that they brought back Go Nagai's handpicked choice for Honey's voice herself. But to me, the strongest aspect of this was the writing. There are a lot of things that are actually punched up from the original script. My clearest example is there's a moment in episode 2 where I think in the Japanese version, Scarlet Claw just goes what the heck? But in the English dub version, she just goes, what the fuck? And it's really funny.
I don't even think she finishes the word. I think she
it cuts off.
She's just what the fuck?
And it's just really funny. I think the best thing about this is that it once again shows that Discotek can do a lot of Discotek publishes a lot of good dubs, but that Sound Cadence really does put a lot of art into their craft, and it sucks that they've kind of been only relegated to really doing a lot of stuff for Discotek lately. I really wish that they would get picked up again by a major studio as an outsource place, because not only because they are strong, but because I believe that they could do a lot of really good things with shows that people don't necessarily expect to have such good class dubs on them. So overall, I really enjoyed this. Like, I like the dub of this so much that I started bitching at people to watch it really quickly. I was like, please make sure you watch this before the dub eats. It's really fucking good.
That is kind of why we are here right now, isn't it?
Yeah, mostly because me and Jamal wouldn't stop bitching at people about it.
So yeah, Amon and I very much were like, what the heck, which... Amon, you want to go?
Yeah, it's delightful.
That's it?
I mean this in the nicest way possible. This dub is really stupid. Not like poorly made, just like this is kind of a dumb show on purpose. And the dub does a really good job of matching like I feel like the innate goofy stupidity of a lot of what I've gotten the impression is not uncommon in a lot of Go Nagai's funnier works. And stuff. Also, obviously, there's a bunch of trigger people working on this. This very much feels like, I definitely remember watching the first episode. It's like, that's just Imaishi like doing a dry run for Kill la Kill, isn't it? Huh.
So,
all right, sure.
But yeah, I understand exactly what you mean by this dub is so stupid because like, I recognize exactly the inflection you're giving it. It's
no, sorry, continue.
You are saying the Cutie Honey dub is the same way somebody who is a morosexual is talking about their partner being stupid. This dub is telling you to your face, hey, I wonder what kind of animal the Pink Panther is, as you're taking your clothes off and being like, God, you're so fucking stupid.
Sure, let's go with that. I just appreciate that they're like stupid Panther Claw lackeys, and they have like dumb 80s cartoon like henchmen voices. Anytime you make an anime and you have characters that sound like Bebop and Rocksteady, I'm gonna enjoy your dub. That's a great way to get me on board personally. Like that kind of like, these are comedy idiots. Good. I like that.
I don't know how to describe this, but it's like there is something about this dub that feels like it was animated in a way that the show takes place in, like, cartoon New York City. Because there's so many characters that just kind of, like, their inflections break into that, like, over-the-top, like, cartoonish New York accent.
Are you being funny? Are you being funny, Andrew?
I don't think he is. He's dead serious because I've had that feeling as well. So
I'm also a little tired, but that is like there's just something. I don't know how to describe it. There's just something about several of the deliveries of several of the characters that just feels like I'm in like a cartoonish New York City hellscape.
There is one specific person who does it the most, though.
There's one specific person, and we will get to them. But there's just something about that just feels like nostalgic in a way that's like. This is very much like pulpy, jazzy, like 70s, like hip hop. Not even hip hop. Wow. Oh, I hate that my brain is, like, trying to... Like, this feels like 70s, like, color flash style everything, and it is delightful. And I think the dub absolutely captures on... This show sounds the way it looks, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is an absurdist, raunchy cartoon. And everything about this dub sounds like it is the perfect, absurdist, raunchy cartoon accompaniment, and it is fantastic. And we regularly like to sing the praises of one Sound Cadence Studios, including the likes of our friend and lovely Patreon, Marissa Lenti. But you know what? I want to shout out a guy I haven't gotten to talk about in a while. Love you, David Wald. Everything you touch is so goddamn good, and this is no exception. Oh my god, this dub's great. And I can just feel that touch of like...
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I could just like feel that touch of like passion and I guess like that musical directing style, which I remember talking about some other actors who have worked on his projects that he directs very musically, and I can very much hear that in this. This is a good cartoon, and this is a very, very fun dub. And also, this is a really good introduction to Cutie Honey. It is relatively accessible, relatively easy to get. And, like, I go into this knowing, alright, this is going to be horny and absurd. And this is as horny and absurd as it gets, but it's also animated fucking spectacularly. And more than just the animation, holy shit, Astro Res is black magic. What the fuck? This does not look like this was from 2004. This looks incredible.
As somebody who has the Digimon Blu-rays, yeah, that shit's fucking wild.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's incredible technology, and this is... I watched this on a whim, bought this on a whim, because I want to support Discotek X and the dubs they're doing. This was a great watch. This was a... Between Gunbusters and this, I am just watching the entire straight line of how we got to Gurren Lagann and Kill a Kill. It's crazy.
I just wanted to say before I let Jamal go, I like too that this dub, because like for all intents and purposes, like the first episode and a half is very comedic, but I would say the second half of episode 2 into episode 3 is a lot more dramatic. I would like to say that this dub toes the line between one of Gainax's most famous works, Panty and Stocking, in terms of a dub, but a Go Nagai work of a much more dramatic series, which is Devilman Crybaby, which was a re-adaptation of one of his most famous works. I like that this dub has kind of the spirits of both at some points, but is still so drastically different from the other Go Nagai projects that it can stand on its own.
Go Nagai says homosexuals will be humanity's reckoning and also their savior.
They can be your angel or your devil.
Not... Fuck you! I can't even...
Alright, well, break it down.
Yeah, okay. You have defeated me. That's good. That's good. Well played.
You okay, man?
I keep finding myself remembering a quote from an interview Lenti did with the Cartoon Cypher, where what you like for a show, you like for that time period that's given, and it very much feels like if it was a 2004 dub with a show like this, because I mean, you're right. They kind of have to toe the line with a little script, but they still manage to punch things up. I still remember first episode, Scoop Panther coming out in the hot tub in the hot springs, and this old lady with a Brooklyn accent tried to take her out, and she's like, "This is a bathroom for women," and then she basically, it was a line that kind of sounded like they misgendered the character, but it was still like played for kicks, but it didn't do any harm or anything. I thought that was pretty neat.
The impression I get from like sound cadence dubs is that they basically are willing to make it sound period accurate.
Yeah.
Okay, I know how to explain this. Cuphead. Cuphead is a game that looks aesthetically as accurate to all like the 30s and 40s like Fleischer and like rubber tube style like cartoons of the era, and just completely scrub out the racism. That's basically how I get from like Sound Cadence's approach to dubbing stuff of the times.
I mean, basically this dub kind of reminds me of when me and Amon did Beat X, because it was kind of the same way too. You write for the time period given, but make it feel as natural as it can be without some of the 90s stuff. But it's funny because I've been interested in Cutie Honey for the longest time. I actually watched like a couple of the old episodes back in the day. So when I first heard about Universe and I heard about I wanted to check it out, and it does appeal to me, somebody who's interested in both tokusatsu and magical girls, and David Wall did a very good job directing this. I mean, it's only a given since he did a Cutie Honey universe, so
only a given.
Only a given. That's one joke. But it's hard to put in the words. It's just, I think it's kind of perfect, even though it's an OVA series. It is pretty perfect. Like, I don't have any real criticisms to say about the show. It's just, it appeals to my sensibilities, especially as someone who likes a lot of sound-caded stuff.
It's just very delightful and very fun.
Very. Very fun. And they know how to bring the fun, especially with Discotek. But I think it's time to move on, because there's going to be a lot of interesting tidbits, and we ain't got time.
God, I forgot to mention this just because it's hard to really figure out where to put them in, but I literally have the whole thread that Lenti did when this first got announced of all of the cameos and stuff they got throughout.
I also got the liner notes pulled up on my TV next to me, so...
Yeah, just, like, literally this is a dub that pulls from every bit of history of the Cutie Honey to other Go Nagai stuff. And there's some deep pulls from, like, New York, LA, Texas, and then some. It's pretty impressive. Yeah. They also got Brett Weaver in there, which he's, like, shows up for, like, a second, but it's Brett Weaver, and he kind of looks like the Devilman Akira, and Brett Weaver's great. I like him in things.
Yeah, so I think it's time to move into our characters. This is interesting because with this OVA, in every other iteration of Cutie Honey, Honey is basically a high school student at this all-girls academy, surrounded by her friend Natsuko. But in this iteration, she's an office lady, basically someone doing clerical work, and she works has a temp job, basically just working in this office. Surrounded by her co-workers, Mayumi Takahashi, Rinko Terada, a perverted section chief who looks like a giant Lupin reference.
Okay, I see why you wanted to save that for this section now. All right.
Mm-hmm. And this old lady named Kyoko Izumiya, who's basically the janitor for the office. But there's a secret about her that we all learned later on. But getting to these four, Mayumi's played by Bryn April. Rinko is played by Christine Arton. The section chief is played by Tony Oliver. And Kyoko is played by Pam Doherty. Bryn April, you've heard her as Kori Itsuka in Data Life. Yui Yamada in Kase-san Morning Glories. And Natsuko Aki in Cutie Honey Universe. No, I did not stutter. You heard me right.
No, I did hear you right. We'll get into that.
Christine Arton, you've heard as Esdeath in The Kami Got Killed. Izumi Curtis in Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And Keko Kamen in Keko Kamen. There's a very good reason for that, too. Tony Oliver, you've heard as Okiura Cypher in Bleach. We just spoke about Fate Stay Night. He's Lancer in the Fate Stay Night franchise. And he's also in Lupin the Third in Lupin the Third franchise.
Okay, no, you need to list No, I'm not going to do that to you. All right.
And Pam Doherty, you've heard as Kiwa in The House of the Lost on the Cape. Big Mom in One Piece. And Sakai Jinochi in Summer Wars.
So before we go into our thoughts, you want to just rip off what the references are? Because you kind of already alluded to some of them.
Okay, because as we've said in every other iteration of Cutie... I'm trying to make this as quick as I can. In every other iteration of Cutie Honey, like I said, Honey is basically a high school student in this all-girls academy. Natsuko Aki is her best friend. The Natsuko Aki in this OVA is not the same person. No. As on top of that, I mentioned Keko Kamen. Keko Kamen is another of Go Nagai's works where they fight against against trouble in this delinquent high school, and the character is she fights. It's basically like Captain Underpants if Captain Underpants was a woman.
Fun.
Here's the thing. One of the characters in that anime is named Mayumi Takahashi. Come to think of it, I think Rinko Terada, if I remember correctly, is the name of the actress that voices her.
Oh my god. So is this just layers upon layers of the Cutie Honey multiverse?
The Cutie Honey multiverse and the Go Nagai multiverse.
Incredible. So, yeah, it's very clear, even just from this section alone, Mayumi's a reference to the Cutie Honey universe casting, Rinko's a reference to this Kekko Kamen character, the guy that just looks like sleazier, shittier Lupin is played by Lupin, and that's just like that from down, all the way down. There will be more references to go off of. There's like a quick gag where like there's like Comiket henshins that are played by the actors who played Seiji and Natsuko in the Cutie Honey universe dub. Akira and Miki show up, and they share their voices from Cyborg 009 and Devilman, which, yeah, there was a Bryce Papenbrook Devilman from that OVA, but Miki from that was also Miki in Devilman Crybaby too, and it's just like, it's there's so many more. It's aggressive amount of deep cuts for casting for even the small bit parts that I commend the people at Sound Cadence for going above and beyond. Yeah. Also, personally, as a guy in his mid-20s, I am personally okay with the change of the scantily clad woman with her tits out, rocking them hard, being an adult office lady. I like that a lot, actually, instead of being a 16-year-old high school. Here.
As a bisexual woman who's in her 30s, I too appreciate this.
Amen.
For both her and Natsuki.
Natsuki, we'll get to that.
Yes, we will. Got any more you want to say, Andrew?
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, were we on thoughts now? Was that what?
I guess.
We been on thoughts.
Okay, I didn't realize we had.
I mean, you might as well go first, so.
Sure, okay. Well, I just kind of... I just kind of blanked. I have blanked. Okay.
Why you switch to somebody else? Or?
Honestly, yes. I am.
I'll go ahead. I don't have a ton to say about these characters, mostly because they kind of just come and go, and at least the two girls eventually just get, like... They get put into, like, what I can only describe as, like, some fucking Devilman-ass tree thing. Sister Jill is literally like, all the pussy in Japan, come to me.
10,000 women.
10,000?
10,000 women for the aliens, for the cyborg alien demoness. Because you bitches got no riz, just saying.
Only Sister Jill is allowed to have riz.
And she
wants her riz for honey.
She got... I am not as fast and sharp as I like to be on these today. I apologize. I'm very sorry.
It's okay. Bryn sounded fine. I know that she kind of just fades into the background because these characters just kind of come in and out as like little gag things, and you spend a lot more time with the villains and the main characters. But I thought she sounded fun. I thought she sounded good. I thought that I did not know that was Christine Otten. She was good. Tony Oliver's the sleazy manager, gets what's coming to him in the end. And that was funny. And then I really liked Pam Doherty as the little janitor lady who turns out to be a secret agent.
I thought that was a fun twist, yeah.
Yeah, she was cute. She sounded great. She did great old lady voice. Pam Doherty is like pretty much like a god at that. So overall, I really like this group. I just don't have a ton to say about them.
I think that there are a fun cast of characters. I think Bryn and Kristen's characters are fun and definitely very cute. Knowing the fact that Mayumi shares like a similar design to Natsuko in the Universe show is pretty fun. Yeah, Tony Oliver's being sleazy, like basically just, you know how like Lupin, modern Lupin is kind of like, how do I describe it? Much more like presentable PG-13.
There's a thing that goes around Twitter, which is like the 3 versions of Lupin you get, which is like nice Lupin, neutral Lupin, and evil Lupin. This is evil Lupin, and he's uglier.
This is specifically evil Lupin South Park parody.
Yeah.
You heard me say that, and then you're like, no, he's got a point actually. But I think that's very fun.
Of the design. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the design, yeah, not the animation, I'd rather not touch South Park, so...
Look, Fooly Cooley has already touched South Park, and, like, if we're going for the whole Gynex history trajectory, we might as well reference the classics while we're at it. And, yeah, no, I thought Tony was fun, Bryn and Kristen were fun, and Pam was a delightful old lady who had a much bigger role than I was expecting, but she was very fun, and she was very sweet, and... she was just making rice bowls to help the lady, which I guess in a way, a Cutie Honey in this is kind of like an office worker, but also very... I guess she is very much shonen protag, if that makes sense. Just dumb, lovely, kind, and can eat out anyone. Yeah, I said what I said. I was like, I was trying to correct that. I was like, no.
Just keep going.
That's correct, actually. Yeah, I liked them. I liked this group of characters. I thought they were very fun little additions, and yeah, very colorful cast of characters.
Alright. Amon, you have anything to add?
They're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quality jokes, folks.
Basically. Yeah.
Also, I think the section chief, he's just randomly so mad he is bleeding out of his ass at one point.
Yeah, that's dysentery for you. Ugh.
My anus is bleeding, but for real, which... I think that was episode 1, which finding out, okay, yeah, Hiroyuki Imaishi directed episode 1, it's like, oh, okay. The fact that the show literally goes from panty and stocking to Evangelion over the course of, like, 60 minutes is crazy. So.
I know, right? But yeah, like everybody else stated, 3 out of these 4 characters don't do much. Christine was great. I like the reference they took with Tony Alpha, the Red Jacket Lupin reference. That was neat. But April, always a delight. I don't know if I want to finish Cutie Honey Universe, or maybe I should. Also, not to date this episode, but happy birthday, Bryn. Pam Doherty as Kyoko, however, it was very interesting because there were some things you don't suspect about her. Then you find out like she'd been working in secret since I guess they said since 32 was in the White House. So I thought that was neat the way in like the last episode she helped both Natsuko and Honey out of a sticky situation, making sure that she's well fed, nourished, and able to get back on her feet. I thought that was pretty fun. But you know who else is pretty fun though?
Are you talking about the evil villain squad?
Basically, we're talking about Pathoclaw themselves. Ooh, this one's gonna be a doozy.
So, it's very fun watching something back like this where you realize, okay, are all of the Sentais, are all of the evil villain squads, were they all descended from stuff like this?
It's this and like the
Time Boken?
Sentai manga that the Cyborg 009 guy was doing around the same time.
So you mean the Yatterman group?
Oh yeah, I mean, and that too. Yes.
Okay, so I have something.
I was gonna say if we don't mention Yatterman, Jet's gonna come fucking find us.
That's fair. Like, it's like, I'm literally thinking, like, okay, this is just the evil villain squad with the weirdo commanders. And, like, even... So, when this was a show in the 70s, was this, like, also kind of like a sanitized Devilman that was presentable for, like, kids?
Absolutely fucking not.
No.
Go Nagai made Cutie Honey to say, fuck you, PTA.
What? Okay, I was gonna say, like, this had a show in the 70s. I know the manga was probably raunchy, but, like, was the anime able to be as similarly this out there in the 70s? I would assume.
I mean, I think it was as raunchy as you could get away with on TV in the 70s, which was probably less raunchy than the manga.
That's fair.
But, like, I've watched some old stuff that is racier than I would expected, so I don't know exactly what they were doing.
That's fair. I guess it was just more of an observation where it's like, this was also done by Toei, and I remember Devilman was like a superhero in the 70s show, and then it's like, wow, the trajectory of what was adapted versus what was before it's crazy.
But we also got the Devilman dub. The Devilman dub from back in the fucking day. I don't care where you wear your shoes.
Go to Nagai in anime is a history in and of itself. Anyways, let's talk about some bad guys.
It is a history. Yeah, so basically we have the 4 claws that follow the leader, Sister Jill. We have Sister Jill herself, as well as her butler, who's modeled after, of all things, Dr. Kisaragi, but this will make perfect sense in a sec. So, Sister Jill has these color coordinated soldiers, as you will, called the claws. And they all have different tasks to take out honey in a way. One thing I'm learning about from these liner notes I'm looking at, back then they called them the Shitano, the 4 heavenly cakes, and Anno wanted them to have like a unique look to each of them.
By the way, we should probably preface this if you're this far in the episode and haven't figured this out. We are not actually experts on the Cutie Honey we are not experts on the Cutie Honey series by any stretch of the terms. If we get things wrong, we are probably going to get things extremely wrong. We are popping our Cutie Honey cherries together tonight, friends. So this is not an expert class. This is a bunch of people figuring out... This is a bunch of us figuring this out and going, ooh, that's really cool.
We're doing our goddamn best.
It's kind of like, this is not a proper sex ed class. This is basically just looking what's down below, and you're like, I wonder if I put this here, and then like lightning bolts go off in your... Okay, look. We are talking about Cutie Honey, a show where there are titty missiles, there are dick missiles, there are tits galore as far as the eye can see, lesbians, and like end of the world apocalypse. All's fair in love and honey.
Andrew, have you looked at your balls with a hand mirror? I gotta ask for a friend.
What? What?
Anyway, Jamal, would you like to rein this back in?
Yes, please. So we have Goldclaw. We're first introduced to her. And at towards the end of episode 1, maybe probably episode 2, she takes on Honey, and as she's commandeering the Tokyo Metro police station, trying to revive her dead Panthers, which, by the way, the subordinates to the claws are called the Panthers, and I thought that was kind of interesting, but kind of, Yeah, so she revives them using a lightning attack, takes on Honey, doing what could have been a final confrontation if she wasn't careful. Has a trump card called Breast Missiles, which, if I had a nickel for every time I saw Breast Missiles in an anime, I would have 3 nickels, but that's not for here or there. To which, that was a nod to Mazinger Z. She gets defeated in the end, and we see Cobalt Claw in the next episode, and ooh, that's a wild one.
The funniest thing to me about all of these generals and like all their designs is finding out a bunch of them had very different designers, and some of them were like pretty prolific. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, Yeah, to which she's very narcissistic and has a thing for Honey, but that's only in the OVA, not the film. Might be inspired by Sister Joe's interest in Honey. Not much to, but she kind of gets betrayed in the end by Scarlet Claw, surprisingly.
I love this little bitch.
Scarlet Claw, best character.
Yeah, Scarlet Claw has a unique way, interesting way of doing things. At one point, just basically taunting Honey and pulling the victim card, I guess. Try to make Honey look like the bad guy for everybody, even blowing up parts of Tokyo just to send a message.
I think the biggest surprise to me about Scarlet Claw is that she is not voiced by Mayumi Shintani. Like, I looked at her and I remembered the people working on this, and I'm like, I cannot believe that this smarmy little shit is not being played by Haruko Harahara, Nonon Jakuzure, and Susie. Like, this just seems like a character that she would have played.
Funny enough, her attack, the Scarlet Beam, was a nod to Mazinger Z as well.
Yeah, Mazinger Z, it's all Go Nagai. Everything is Go Nagai. All of it
Go
comes
Nagai
back.
all the way down.
All the way down. Especially with Black Claw, because, Black Claw. It's literally two halves of the same coin, has two distinct voices, which we will get to later, because my god.
Black Claw is, am I a boy, am I a girl? Everybody thinks I'm hot, that makes everybody gay.
Yeah, basically, they command the power large enough by assisting in capturing these 10,000 women for Sister Jill. All in the aim of just pleasing her, which is funny because I'm looking at the notes and apparently it's based on two characters from Mazinger Z. One was a half male, half female cyborg, while the other one was a cybernetic. I'm not saying that word on the internet. No, thank you.
Oh, look, the character is a villain. I think mentioning that, like, a villainous character was represented as a Nazi is not at all controversial in any way, shape, or form. Nazis are bad, evil people and deserve to get their asses kicked.
Remember, kids,
definitely.
It is always morally correct to punch a Nazi.
It is always morally correct to punch a Nazi.
Especially the way Hank did in episode 3.
All of them are nanomachines. Which I think that was a new thing for the series. They're all nanomachines, son.
Well, they're all pretty much based off of Sister Jill, who we know was the first prototype in the I system. Basically, the system that could.
She had issues.
She had issues because as soon as she woke, she thought that the first order given to her was to change the world. And it got so out of hand that when they tried to shut her down, it was of no luck. Like, she pretty much almost destroyed the Earth.
By the way,
it was only through... What's up?
I just want to say, reading those notes myself, they talk about the imagination system or the I system. And then the I system is supposed to be like I system. And then it's actually a play on love system. Like I as in love, as in I, the Somnium Files, is coming back to fucking haunt me. It won't stop! Why, Japan? Why are you so... What is with you and these puns? Why do you love puns so much?
But I was told Japan is a humorless place that has no puns.
And that's an Andrew thing, but yeah. She's part of this failed experiment. One of two, actually. The second experiment was a success. We'll get to her much later. She's also assisted by her butler, who's a splitting image of Dr. Kisaragi, but evil. Dr. Kisaragi is the scientist that made Jill.
It's like Doc.
He also made Honey. Pretty much, both of them are two sides of the same experiment, but one is good and one is evil. Jill desires that which she wants most, which she knows she can't have, which is honey.
Also,
and Dr. Kisaragi
So,
and Dr. Kisaragi, if you're an Iron Man fan, he's basically the whole Yinsen of the Cutie Honey universe.
oh yeah, no. He's Dr. Tenma. He is straight
Dr.
up
Tenma,
Dr. Tenma from Astro Boy because his daughter dies and then he decides to turn her into a robot. He is the Dr. Tenma. But because the butler character, who is also based on the dead dad now, you can tell that episode was directed by Hideaki Anno because it's very much Honey going through her daddy issues.
It's also Sister Jill going through her daddy issues.
It's also Sister... You can tell Hideki Anno has some opinions about characters and their fathers.
Andrew, would you find interesting to learn that this whole, like, he's replacing for her daughter thing is an invention of this version of Cutie Honey?
Is that just for this version?
So say something I read somewhere. Like, I don't think that's a common bit of, like, Cutie Honey lore.
That's surprising, because I actually don't think that's bad, but I guess that's just because
they...
I think it's, like... That's what's funny about this. It's like, we don't know if these are series tropes or if these are things new to this series. Because, like, I'm literally just here like, oh, of course, Cutie Honey's just a hot office worker. That makes sense. And then you're like, no, she was a 16-year-old high schooler. And it's like, anime, right.
And she's in, like, Catholic school or something, which I assume is why Sister Jill is called Sister Jill.
Being in a Catholic school would explain why everything is so gay.
Basically, probably might also explain why Jill has some issues to the point that she almost tries to destroy the world again.
Good old.
Can we talk about like how she just erects all these towers after she captures the women, and one of them just turns into like a giant venom Myodismon that just basically wants to destroy anything and everything in Japan.
I like the fact that she's powering these things by a bunch of naked women's orgasms.
Ah, yes, I've done it. I've invented it. The female orgasm generator.
When you think about it, all of those Doomsday Tree of Life things are basically just giant clits.
Yeah, I mean
Sister Jill did what Elon Musk could never do: power an engine with a woman's touch.
I was gonna say this is why it's called the Jill tree, but holy shit!
Look. This is Cutie Honey, motherfucker.
When jacking off can't do it, remember that jilling off can.
Playing these 7 people.
I got it. Okay, let's talk about the characters now. Actually,
Amon, when you agreed to this podcast many years ago, did you ever think that you're gonna sit there and go, "Why the fuck am I friends with these people?"
No, I like you.
Thank you.
Nice.
We appreciate that, Fred.
We like you too.
Thank you. Yeah. Gold Claw is voiced by Alice Kimura, who's also Govig and Haiden in Fire Emblem Heroes, Soul Weaver Leon in Paladins, and Ludovine in Genshin Impact.
Oh, so
Cobalt Claw is voiced by...
Oh, Gold Claw plays the big titty snake lady from Fire Emblem Heroes. Nice.
Yep.
That's fitting. Cobalt Claw is voiced by Terra Langella, who's Fantilia the Undying in Honkai Star Rail, Sea Queen Sati in Paladins, and an assortment of skins in League of Legends.
Okay. That's okay. She was the one I was most unfamiliar with. The rest?
Scarlet Claw is voiced by Erica Schroeder, who's Blaze a Cat in the 4-Kid Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Well, I think for the games at least. My Valentine and Dark Magician Girl in Yu-Gi-Oh! Kaneko Saimori in My Happy Marriage. And surprisingly, she's reprising this role from the live-action movie.
Okay, that's where the connection's from. That makes perfect sense.
And Black Claw is voiced by Kayla McKee, who you've heard as Testament, Guilty Gear Strive. Yuta Okotsu in Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. And Sei Satumi in Kageki Shoujo. Sister Jill is voiced by Marissa Lenti, who you've heard as Yuna in Kuma 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 Bear, Momoko Hyakushiki Nabaka, and Olivier Vanderburm in No Guns Life. She's reprising this role as She was also Inspector Janae and Sister Joe in Cutie Honey Universe.
I believe Inspector Janae is just another version of.
It's her disguise,
Yeah.
but she's also Sister Joe in Cutie Honey Universe.
But in this, she doesn't have a disguise. She's basically just an evil demigod sitting in a chair.
Basically. And the butler, Dr. Kisaragi, voiced by the same guy, David Wald, our ADR director. No citation needed, but I'll give him one anyway. He's Gajiro Red Fox in Fairy Tail, Lieutenant Surumi in Golden Kamui, Ashala did the Texas dub of Finland Saga, and of course he's reprising his role as Dr. Kisaragi for Cutie Honey Universe, even though the OVA kind of predates that.
I mean,
The dub does.
Licensing.
the dub, of course, predates. Wait, what?
The OVA predates Universe, but the dub comes after.
Was that not established?
He's trying to be funny, Andrew.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go with that. Who wants to go first on
I
this
guess
one?
I'll keep going first. I'll start off with David Wald. David Wald does a really good job as Dr. Kisaragi and the butler. Genuinely, once again, did not know that was him.
What?
In my defense, it was New Year's Eve, and I was...
okay.
I was getting
Say
my
no
ass fat on chicken wings.
That is a sentence.
Listen, man, fucking chicken wings are delicious.
Alright.
Bone-in chicken wings are... I really liked his performance. I really liked that moment in the end, towards the ending of episode 3, where he's trying to get Honey to give over to Sister Jill. Goldclaw was a ton of fun for when she showed up. I really liked her performance. It was very big and bombastic and gritty. It kind of had like that big girl, like tough biker-esque feeling to it. Excuse me. Then there's Cobalt Claw. Cobalt Claw was the claw I felt honestly kind of the weakest of the voices. If there was like a weak voice in the dub, I felt it was her. But I still enjoyed the performance. Okay, let's talk about the two best claws. The two best performances of the claws that aren't Marissa Lunte. I specifically yelled at people to watch this because of Kaylee McKee. Because if you had no idea that was the same person, you would have thought it was two completely different voice actors.
It's
absolutely terrifying that is one person.
I know, right?
Yeah, Kaylee is extremely talented VA that I always like whenever I've seen them pop up in
Anything
shows
but, like,
and movies, but this really gets them to flex.
Like, if you had ever wondered what the definition of voice acting black magic is, congratulations! Please watch this performance. It is genuinely convincing on both ends. You can definitely tell that the two sides of this character are at odds with each other, and they sound distinctly masculine and distinctly feminine. Like, I genuinely can only think of a few voice actors that could pull that off so convincingly, and Kaylee is one of them. So if you've not seen this, just watch it for that. And then let's talk about the actual best character. Is it Natsuko or I? Or Natsuko Aki or Honey Kisaragi? I fucking love Scarlet Claw. She's such an asshole.
Like, I stand by this. I'm so shocked that she was not voiced by Mayumi Shintani in Japanese,
like,
because this is so that type of character. That little schmarmy asshole.
If there was a definition of Steen Sealer in this whole show, it's Scarlet Claw. And Erica Schroeder is, like, got her knife and fork out to be as hammy as humanly possible. And the thing that I appreciate about this is that Erica Schroeder didn't go for the ultra-high cutesy voice for this. It is cutesy, but it is cutesy and slimy, like you're about to get mugged on the New York subway system by a Lalafell from Final Fantasy XIV.
You remember, oh my god, that episode of Batman the Animated Series?
Oh, Dollhouse, the Dollface one.
Yes. That's what she kind of reminds me of, specifically that level of, like, small and cute, but in a way that you can tell that she's, like, a mob boss and would, like, fucking, like, gut you.
It's also a very, very much akin to probably one of the best movies of all time, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, with the baby.
Ooh, that's actually better than what I was thinking.
It's very much the Who Framed Roger Rabbit with the baby, but when she has to be cutesy and stuff, she's on, but then most of the time it's like, it's got, like, that... I don't want to... And, like, of all the people to do it, it's Erica fucking Schroeder! Like, for a lot of people, Erica Schroeder, like, they don't realize that Erica Schroeder's been kind of having this, like, renaissance in her work, being in a lot more, I think, modern dubs. I think a lot of them being distinctly starting with Sound Cadence and then moving on with people who are affiliated with Sound Cadence. Or did a lot of stuff with them. But, like, I think my favorite moments with her are when she's like, oh, come out, honey, on the TV. And then when she's watching things, Erica Schroeder just gives this very flat, what the fuck? And it gets cut off. Like, I love this assholey little shit with all my heart. Like, is she awful? Yes. Did she deserve to die by Black Claw's hand? Probably yes, but I also love her, and I wish that she would get to have the very many adventures of Scarlet Claw, because Scarlet Claw is life. But, like, it's such a fun performance, and it's so scene-stealy and hammy, which is a lot to say in this dub, because I think one of the characters we're talking about in the next section gives her a run for her money.
These are fun characters.
Anyway, I'm done. I love you, Scarlet Claw.
I'm good to sit out for a second. Amon, do you want to go?
These all are a delight. It's fun to finally watch something where Kaylee McKee is using what I'm assuming is probably closer to her natural speaking voice, because the only other thing I'd seen her in before this was Guitar Lives Alone, where she plays like a losery gangster dude.
Have you not seen the dub of Jujutsu Kaisen 0?
No, we watched it in Japanese.
Ah, okay. Man, you gotta change that. She is great at what is basically like a Shinji Ikari character.
I don't doubt that. If you want to pay me to skip work and watch anime, you do that.
I've got $5 American
if you would
dollars.
if you would like to pay us so we can skip work and watch anime, you can go over to our Patreon at Dub Talk Podcast, where you can pay us money and then we'll do stuff.
Exactly. I feel like in this section particularly, she just seems to stand out just because she is doing two radically different voices very, very well, which it's like a magic trick. I'm just impressed every time I see it. It's like, ooh.
It is...
Call me basic, but I'm impressed. It's very well done.
I think it is also very clear that, like, this is a very, like... Black Claw is very much an absolutely transcoded character in every single way, having both a male and female half.
Definitely.
So I think definitely having a trans actor like Kaylee is absolutely, like, adds another quintessential layer to this character and this performance that you could say is almost transcendent, if you will.
Boo.
Hey, if those motherfucking Japanese people get so hot gung-ho and sniff their own farts about all their clever puns and wordplays, then I can be for at least 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I boo those too. I boo with love.
You boo with I.
Exactly.
I spelt AI.
Hurry before he starts.
I didn't mean to.
Hurry before he brings it up.
Let's see. I don't think I have anything super specific to add to the other performances. I did like them. Like these are good funny villains. I like that. I did just want to bring up a fun bit of trivia. All of the claws were designed by different character designers to help give them a distinct look. And I find it very funny that Scarlet Claw is our favorite, because it seems like Scarlet Claw was probably Hideki Anno's favorite, because her character designer was his wife. his
that
girl.
Yeah.
That tracks so much because a lot of these are kind of like they feel kind of a lot more like either like modern like Sentai mecha monster creatures, and like they're like I said, like one of them I think I forget if it was Black Claw or was designed by the creator of Razafon, who's now working on Metallic Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which one that was.
It's Cobalt Claw, I think.
Cobalt Claw, right. But, and then, yeah, there's Scarlet Claw, who was just signed by Anno's wife, and it's like, that tracks so much. She's just this small little shithead. And it's...
I have to correct you. It's actually Black Claw designed by the creator.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. But, yeah. She's very much a lot of fun, for sure. And she is another one of those characters why I feel this dub takes place in fantasy New York City, because there's just something about this that feels and I think, like, it's a couple of these are actors who started out working in New York City. I know Erica Schroeder was a 4Kids alumni, so it's like, oh, did they give the 4Kids New York crowd the opportunity to do fun New York style accents?
I don't mean this in a bad way, but I did get a very 4Kids-y vibe from this dub. Like, not like literally per se, but it did feel like
that era.
Nudity and violence aside, you could definitely slap this on, Kids WB in the early 2000s, and it wouldn't sound wrong.
I think the thing that enough time has passed that we can look back fondly on some of the good, interesting elements of the 4Kids era of dubbing.
Oh yeah, it's a lot harder to get indignant about like the 4Kids One Piece dub when like the Funimation
the Funimation dub is arguably the 4Kids dub has lasted way less time than the modern One Piece dub. At this point, it's just kind of an irrelevant thing, and One Piece has finally bounced back, so you can stop being mad about that. It's like, whatever. I just think it's fun to look back on. But yeah, this feels like a quintessential, like, cartoony style dub of the time, and that's what I love about Erica Schroeder's performance as Scarlet Claw. It's just she's just kind of this little smarmy little brat, sounding like she's gonna muck me on the streets of New York and then call me a bitch.
Billy, what? We've had Billy on the street. Now here comes Scarlet Claw on the street. If you look like Honey, you're getting in jail. If you don't, she's just gonna stab you.
What's the cursed Callie plushie meme? I need to find the exact wording. Haunted doll. She looks like the haunted Callie doll that drinks all your Pepsi and calls you a bitch. That's what she looks and sounds like. And I love it. I also want to give a shout out to Alex Himura as Gold Claw, which that is a very fun, like, beefcake style character that is kind of like cool and menacing, but also like pretty intimidating too. Mm-hmm. And it's a very fun voice that I not heard from this actor before. I think Cobalt Claw's actor is definitely pretty fun as well. And fucking Kaylee McKee, holy shit. Like, I stand by that. Kaylee McKee is an incredible actor, brought the absolutely necessary layers to this character, swung out of the park, blew us all the way with some Black Claw magic. And Marissa Lenti is really good at sounding evil.
I totally forgot about Marissa!
Look, the squad of villains is fun. The squad of villains is fun too, but also, like, Sister Jill and Marissa Lenti is delightfully evil Machiavellian rival, while also simultaneously being like what I could describe.
While I was watching this. I am sorry. I didn't even give my thoughts. I love you as Sister Jill. I like getting to hear Lenti as cool villain characters because Lenti is criminally undercast. And like, I really like that, like, that level of attempting to have that, like, but we're supposed to be together. And, like, But no, I can't accept that you can love more than people than just me. And frankly, by the way, is it incest if you're both? Is it wouldn't that technically be incest or?
I try not to think about that.
I don't. In the words of Rumiko Takahashi, I don't think about it. Neither should you.
I mean,
bingo.
The people who made Kill la Kill were involved in this.
Andrew, shut the fuck up.
Look.
I mean, you got Studio Trigger. It's not like Go Nagai is a stranger to weird sleaze. The evidence builds.
Like...
Oh god, is she the Ragyo?
Yes. Yes, she is. She has a butler, so does Ragyo.
So did Satsuki.
Wait, no, fuck, no.
You did it to yourself, dumbass.
No, she's the Satsuki. Oh, fuck me.
Now I have to remember one of my favorite kill bloopers. Make me some tea. I quit.
Yes, no, they are technically more the Ryuko Satsuki. I mean, I've also seen Kill la Kill. They're not strangers to keeping it in the family either.
Kill-Alabama. the squid kill la kill billies.
I also agree Marissa Lenti's Amon just reaches over and yanks the steering wheel back out of the road.
Thank you for helping us avoid crashing into a barn and blowing up all the animals.
Oh, we already crashed through a few barns, buddy. I'm just trying to mitigate the damage, not avoid it.
Thank you for enabling us.
She's very good. I quite like her in this performance.
Yeah, no, Lenti's really good at
Amon, take the wheel. Take it from my hand.
I like David a lot too, and I actually think this might be the first time I've heard David in anything in a while. I'm trying to think what else I've ever heard of him recently. I'm drawing a blank. It was nice to hear him again. I really like David Walt.
That's why it's fun talking about this dub. That's why it's fun talking about this dub, because that dude puts...
I mean, he's definitely one of as far as like casting goes, he is definitely up there with a dude who clearly puts a lot of time and effort and thought into who he wants working on the projects he's doing, and I think even from what we've already discussed, you can definitely see that shining through here. And I always find it interesting where directors will put themselves if they show up in their dubs, and I like that it's I'll play the weird butler guy who's also this character's dad.
It's a mix. Fun. It's like half of it is kind of a reprisal to the Kisaragi character in Cutie Honey Universe's dub, but also simultaneously it is a new take on that character, but evil.
Yes.
Which is delightful. And also he has very long arms for some reason. Like... God, it is literally night and day going from Imaishi style in episode 1 to Anno style in episode 3. It is incredible they are technically, like, comrades from the same company.
They have overlapping interests. They just have a very different art style between the two of them, that's all.
They have overlapping interests, but it's very much their approach to anime in general is so diametrically opposed. That's kind of how you get Kara in the West and Trigger in the East.
I'm sorry, They have interests in common, parentheses, boobs. It's like when Roger Ebert and Russ Meyer hang out together. Just like, tits, wonderful.
You know what?
I see you too. I see you too, our boob man.
Tits, ass.
I see you're a man of culture.
Just thinking about, like, Ragyo's thing about, like, how it's freedom and all that, and I'm like, yeah, that seems like something these people would say.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good ensemble of characters and actors who are absolutely delightful and chewing the scenery, but also doing some good drama, too, in the case of both Marissa Lenti and David Wald.
Yeah, David Wald, while he's not in the show as much, he is directed the dub. It's hard to argue with the David Wald performance, because that man is amazing no matter what he does. I mean, he not show as much as Dr. Kisaragi, but I would like to see him do a death scene in another anime, because I feel that's what he wanted to go for with this character. The Butler is an OVA original, but he is deliciously evil and a little bit happy too. Let's be honest.
If you want to be pedantic, he's original to the movie, which he is functionally a completely different character, frankly.
Yeah, so as a thing, you said you have watched the movie this is complimentary to, yes?
I did, yes.
So, like, how different is the things, or is it, like, pretty similar?
They clearly started with the same general outline, but they definitely go in different directions. I'm assuming at least in part because, one's live action, one's animated, one's about an hour shorter than the other. And according to a little interview that's on the Blu-ray for the OVA, for various, I think, just like, who was paying for everything reasons, they couldn't be as risque in the live-action movie as they wanted to be. So, like, look, there is a scene where Honey falls off a tower and lands ass first in the windshield of a car, and when she gets up, she is in fact landed on top of Go Nagai.
Oh, yeah!
So,
There's
not no fan service, but it was clearly going to be more in the sense of like, we're going to frame this shot around the actress's ass, kind of a thing.
If I recall, Go Nagai is a cameo as a truck driver, doesn't he?
I think it's just like a sedan or something, but yeah, basically, she falls on his car when she gets up and apologizes for crushing his windshield, and he is clearly not bothered by this at all.
I appreciate that Go Nagai just seems like a good sport about anything and everything that's adapting his works.
I feel like Go Nagai is probably happy just to be here, frankly.
I need Go Nagai to cameo, like, in a movie, in another American movie. Just in like, for no reason, I need to have him have a Jimmy Buffett in Jurassic World level cameo of him running away from a monster carrying, like, alcoholic drinks.
I'd want that for him.
Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett. We miss you every day.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
I wish I had went by Margaritaville when I was in Vegas, but what can you do? But yeah,
I think we were talking
David
about this dub, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, David Wall is fantastic at everything he does. Mercelente's sister Joe. Wow, that is deliciously deep even for a character like this, because man, when you try to understand what is Sister Joe's going after, Joe has kind of this smirk about her, I guess, but Lenti plays the tone very well, even though like everything comes to fruition in the third episode. Let's see. Yeah, Goldclaw is terrifying and at one point kind of turns into Bane, the bad one. I thought Alice did a very good job portraying that voice. I can see where you're coming from, Megan, with a Cobalt Claw. I think Cobalt Claw was just trying to pull out this charm because, she's dressed like a dominatrix, just trying to get at Honey. Erica Shorter Scarlet Claw was fan-fucking-tastic because, man, she's just a little shit gremlin trying to capture Honey. But half of episode 2, which is pretty much all her own, especially betraying Cobalt Claw. But Kaylee McKee's Black Claw was fantastic because at one point I thought Kaylee McKee was voicing one side of the character. I didn't know she was voicing both sides of the character. I was like, oh, I wonder who voices the other side. I'm like, bullshit. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Both of them. That's incredible.
Yeah, so... And I thought everybody did very well, and I think we're good to move on to, I guess some of the main characters, or at least some of the people we see the most in this show. We got the pretty much cops and robbers. Cops and PIs. We have the Tokyo Police Department that consists of Mikami, and Tokimura, detectives that work under Inspector Natsuko Aki, which in any other version of Cutie Honey, she's just a Catholic high school girl who's best friends with Honey. But in this one, she's a hardcore inspector that kind of reminds me of John Woo in many ways. And she's accosted by this mysterious guy named Seiji Hayami. Now, Seiji is also interesting because in any other version, he's either a PI or a journalist.
He's basically either he works for the local paper or he's the token straight.
Yeah, he's token straight. Also in the other universe, he and his family kind of says in Honey's endeavors tried to take down Pathoclar. This one is just him solo.
He's also basically there as like, hey, you are technically a crazy weapon. I am here to take you out if you go rogue.
Basically, he's working as a secret agent for which affiliation we do not know.
In the movie, he's just part of the NSA.
Christ.
Yeah, I kind of had the feeling since he was working with the U.S. Navy at one point.
Also, we don't have an actor, but I just want to shout out the fact that they just straight up gave somebody permission to do a George W. Bush impression. I think an impression of his
You
VP
will get
too.
me a taco. That was terrible.
And it's like, oh yeah, that was 2004, wasn't it? That feels forever ago.
Yeah.
God, right?
I mean, there's even flip phones in there. Flip phones with antennas.
Jamal, the flip phones feels less ancient than remembering George W. Bush's presidency.
That's like me walking. Okay, so full disclosure, right now my mom binges fucking everything every so often. My mother is currently binging The Wire.
Oh boy.
Wow.
That's a good show.
It is a good show, but I walked out and I saw a PC computer that looks like a fucking toaster. I was like, damn, I was like, damn, Mom, you're watching this. This is like from the early 2000s. She's like, it is?
You know what Grandpa Simpson always says? It was the style at the time.
It'll happen to you.
Yeah, but playing these four, Mikumi is played by Jesse James Greeley. Tokyo is played by Mike Pollock. Seiji Hayami is played by Wayne Grayson. And our lovely inspector, who's in Lesbians with Honey herself, is voiced by Natalie Van Sistine, Jesse James Greeley. You've heard them as Armin Arlert in Attack on Titan, Kiro in Dr. Stone, and Knut in the Texas dub of Vinland Saga. Mike Pollock, you've heard as Dr. Eggman in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Nutcracker, Professor Valensky in Demo Memorial Keys, and Dr. Hell in Mazinger Z Infinity. Wayne Grayson, you've heard as Angelo in Arte, Coach Kabuto in Mazinger Z Infinity, of course Joey Wheeler in Yu-Gi-Oh!, and he's also reprising this character from the live-action movie. And Natalie, you've heard as Sophia in Arte, Miri Rembrandt in Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, and Your Forger from Spy Family.
Alright.
I think we can go ahead and say that Mikumi Tokiba, other than a few lines, they're not really as memorable. They're just appeared every episode.
I liked their performances. They're solid. They didn't overtake the main cast. I thought they were fine.
Jesse James Greeley and Mike Pollock are fantastic, wonderful actors who deserve to be paid for everything and anything, even if it's small bit parts. And they are a fun little. They're nice little, just like. Jesse's character looks like Shaggy if he was a cop, which is not a bad thing. But either way, I like Jesse James Greeley and I like Mike Pollock. They are absolutely delightful little old cop, young cop supporting Nat. And
I'm sorry, I just had the thought of Scooby-Doo being a drug dog and how terrible that would go.
You know he would eat all of the munchies before it got to evidence, right?
Ruh-roh, I ate all the weed.
Oh boy.
I can see the cosmos!
So yeah, they did a very good job. They're not as memorable in the show, unlike the other two characters. So, you comfortable going again, Megan, or you want somebody else to go?
You know what, I'll go first. It's cool. Right. If I had a nickel for every if I had a nickel for every time I got to hear Joey Wheeler talk about a golden shower, I'd only have one nickel, which is more than enough, and I don't need another nickel.
I disagree.
Hey, you! I play golden shower. It does 500 damage directly to you.
No, that would be like an area of effect that keeps doing consistent damage every turn.
Hey, you! I'm doing the helicopter dick.
So, okay, sorry. I know you're doing this.
I can't get over the fact that it's Wayne fucking Grayson. And, like, he's so fast-paced. He's so fucking funny in this. And it's, like, partially because it's just, like, I need you to throw on the thickest accent that you can. But because Seiji Hayami speaks at, like, 1,000,000 miles an hour, speaks cryptically, and has all of the social awareness of a giraffe on Everclear.
He's a fucking speed racer character.
Hey, you! It's my brother, Rex Racer!
Like, that's the only way I can describe it, is that it is Wayne Grayson doing a fucking speed racer character, and
but talking about dildos.
Oh no, Andrew, he's like a 40s fast talking reporter guy. He's like those two characters from the later seasons of BoJack who stepped out of like a Howard Hawks movie.
Oh my god.
Like that's what they're going for. It's like, what's the news? You know something? Come on. I'm fast talking and snappy. Come on, keep up.
Okay, see, that is probably more correct, but he could also just walk into an episode of Speed Racer 2 and not be able to play.
I mean, they talk about as that fast in Speed Racer, so you're not wrong. I just think that's the effect it gives, not what they're going for.
That's true.
If I may be pedantic.
You are being pedantic, you are being fair, but I'm just going by the vibes he gives off is that this is a Speed Racer man, and I love it so much. The fact that this is a cast as Seiji from the live-action dub is awesome, but what a fucking inspired place to pull Wayne Grayson and use him. This is
It's just
I know, right?
This is delightful.
Funny. Just I was like, not only that sticks out, but just like how many times he just keeps sticking his foot in his mouth, and then you're there. And you just see Natsuko going, why? Why are you within my vicinity? I hate this. I hate you. And if I had a nickel for every time in 2023 that Natalie Van Sistine played a lesbian, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, and please give me more. Because I'll be real with you, this was my favorite Natalie Van Sistine performance from 2023.
God damn it, that was my last remaining joke.
You know what? Okay, look. If she didn't make it, I would have made it too.
Like,
so that was just who was going to be first to grab it.
Real talk, I absolutely think this is one of Natalie Van Sistine's standout performances. Like, genuinely, if you wanted to see if Natalie Van Sistine herself could genuinely carry a show, it's this. Because as much as it's called Cutie Honey, a lot of the backbone and heart of the show is absolutely carried by Natsuko Aki. It is 100% her holding a lot of the weight. Because while Honey has some moments, a lot of the show is Natsuko realizing that she needs Honey as more than just a partner in, like, fighting crime, but, like, as a life partner in crime. And I think Natalie's performance can 100% do the over-the-top cop who is fed up with her job, fed up with the executives at her job and the incompetence of the men around her, dealing with all the bullshit, but it also has that tender heart when it needs to be. Like when she realizes that Honey made all of her favorite foods, and she rejects her thinking that Honey is causing more problems than good because everybody else in Tokyo thinks it. And you have a lot of these really great emotional moments that Natalie is able to weave through both the needed pathos as well as the laughs. And I think it genuinely came off stronger in this, despite Natalie being in a lot more higher profile shows than this. Like, let's be real, like, a release of a dub of a 20-year-old OVA series for a lot of people, doesn't carry as much weight as her being in a popular shonen franchise and a popular, like spin-off of a, like, decades-old mecha franchise. And while I genuinely like her performances in both Spy Family and G-Witch, I thought this was stronger. There was something about it that really captivated me, and I was like, yeah, you need to watch this. Not only for Kaylee McKee's, like, crazy double act, which I could have just pulled up a clip of you for that and explained why. This one was like, no, you need to sit and watch the show to see how well Natalie is doing this work. Next.
Pretty much hit every nail on the head, so.
Sorry.
Hey, who's next?
I'm a sucker for, like, snappy 40s reporter dialogue, so... Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing that voice.
It's so funny.
I know based on A&N that Wayne Grayson has in fact been getting pretty consistent work for a while, but I was not aware of that, so it was like, wait, Joey Wheeler's still working? And part of that is, like, I'm just not used to seeing any of the New York actors in a lot of anime anymore, because they don't dub anything in New York anymore. But it was just like, wow, he's really good here. Can he do more of this? Can we cast him in other things?
I think that is pretty much what Marissa Lenti's modus operandi has been for the past couple of years, not gonna lie.
Well, like, yeah. I want to give all the New York actors who got a bad rap from crummy 4Kids dubs, like, the opportunities to show people, like, no, they are good actors. Don't quit giving them grief about it.
That, but also specifically throwing Wayne Grayson and stuff. Like, I think
I mean, based on this, I can understand why. He's hysterical.
He is really. He's a great actor, but he's also, like, yeah, got some great chops.
Yeah, like, I don't know if he's the best performance, but he might be my favorite, just because, like, yeah, I could listen to this guy lie to my face all day. That'd be great.
That's extremely fair. It is very fun thinking in, like, another alternate reality, Seiji is, like, the romantic lead, which feels like you're there because some executive told you have to be the love interest, not because the people writing it want it.
Oh, that'd be... Don't care for that. Although on that note, Natalie's also, like, I agree, Natalie's really great in this. She just does a lot of... a friend of mine liked to describe that you can always tell when Hugh Jackman really wanted to do a movie because he plays a character who's tough, but sensitive. And that's kind of what I get from Natalie here. It's like, she can be a real hard ass, but also she has, emotional depth, and she cares about people, and she wants to open, and, and she doesn't want to open up after a horrible tragedy. Maybe she does want to open up. That right person needs to come along first. It's very cute.
She needs the right cutie in her life.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my god, just... Yeah, so, like, it's just... all of my Wade Grayson thoughts are just going to be continuing to gush about how much I love the voice they use, because it is inspired. But, holy shit, Natalie Van Sistine's an incredible actor. And the fact that I know that this version of Natsuko Aki is incredibly unique for the Cutie Honey variants... This is a really cool version of this character, and her relationship with Cutie Honey in this, it's basically what if Jim Gordon and Batman weren't lesbians. It's basically the cop who's learning to not rely on the cops, but actually the weirdo superhero might actually be reliable and trustworthy after all, and you know what, they do have a pretty nice set of tits, not gonna lie. Damn it, gay thoughts, don't you catch me. Don't you catch me. And then episode 3 happens, and then the apocalypse happens, and then she runs directly towards her gay thoughts. Character development.
I mean,
like,
I mean, the gay moments happened in episode 2 when she stripped naked and gave her body warmth.
Okay, that was pretty. That was pretty gay too.
That's like a fate mana transfer. You all know what was happening.
That's pretty gay
Look,
too.
I know it's Natsuko tops. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Depends on which outfit Honey's wearing. Anyways, look, as soon as I saw the vial of, like, liquid, and she's basically, like, mounted to the giant Jill tree, like she's in G Gundam, which my first thought was, oh my god, are we about to gay, lesbian G Gundam this? Hell yeah, motherfucker. And then it's like, oh, she's not drinking it. How do I get her to drink it? And then they do the Promare thing, and I'm like, yes! Yes! Fuck yes! Who hollers, yeah, love it, love that shit so fucking much. Natalie is a great, serious, cool girl actor who you could tell, like, goes, like, soft and sensitive for, like, a single person, and it's basically like Sunshine Girlfriend and Moon Girlfriend. That's exactly what Cutie Honey and this version of Natsuko is. It's great. I love Natalie Van Sistine.
What if there were two Satskis for? Wait, no, she's the Mako. She's not the Mako. She's the Ryuko.
Okay, I get what you're saying. You would think that Cutie Honey would be the Ryuko toy.
No, but she's the Mako.
She is the Mako, and no, I can agree to that. But also that scene where she pulls out the guns, though, and all that, I think that's really...
Yeah.
That was so sick.
Yeah.
I was like, that was so fucking sick. Remembering that was
Imaishi pulling out every gun she has.
Like, God. Dude, going back and finding the history of all these characters, it's like, I could see the trajectory of how we got to Trigger stuff. How we got to the future Trigger stuff, how we got to Gurren Lagann. In, like, Natsuko, it's so good. She's so cool. She kicks so much ass. She is relatively chaste, but then she is explicitly explicit and gay with her gay Sunshine Girlfriend, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Natalie's very fun, and I also think it's very inspired for Natalie to play Nat.
I see. I'm not the only one who picked up on
it. It was pretty obvious to pick up on.
Yeah, I know, but it's just fun being on the nose sometimes. So yeah, Wayne Grace's Seiji, man. I can't hear that Brooklyn accent. I will say though, it is a very inspired choice having to be like a 1940s fast talker playing this character. I will say, though, one of the things that did get me was when Seiji's cosplaying at a comic kit to get away from that. And at one point, he's discussing with Honey about the eye system. He goes into his horny self, and at one point, I can't unhear Joey Willis saying rectal refilling system with pump action, and I just about lost it at that point. So, ooh, you did good, Wayne Gracie. You got me going. I also like the subtle sides when he's playing up the secret agent part, because it's like it definitely looks like the same person, but you can't completely tell there's two sides to him, and he manages to blend them so seamlessly. What's not subtle is Natsuko, because my God, this character's a firecracker. And I really enjoyed Natalie's performance of this. It's like I told her when I met her at Otaku Fest last year that like she kind of sounds similar to Emily Connors, but I think she's definitely coming to her own after all she's been through in the last couple of years with G-Witch, with Spy Family. It's like I can really start to hear her voice coming to her own, especially with this character who's pretty much fed up with your bullshit and everything. It's just basically seeking justice, but like she's not having it with the way everything's going down, and then she encounters Honey and is like, oh shit.
Anyways, you love to see the arc of the gay cop leaving and becoming her own sense of justice.
Basically, especially at that point in the third OVA where she quits and pursues Honey full time. So I really thought that was definitely a touching moment. Well, that and the mana transfers you love to call it, apparently.
Wait, so does she pursue her in the streets or in the sheets?
Yes.
I walked right into that one.
Yes, you fucking did. I was struggling at the start, but I'm picking up my mojo again. Don't fuck with me. I'm fast on the draw.
Alright, Austin Powers. But yeah.
And knowing her, she's probably fast too. Let's be real.
But yeah, Natalie was definitely my choice. So you can imagine my surprise when the cast list first came out. I'm like, wait, Natalie's this character? And then when you find out about
Jamal.
Spectre.
Do you have something you want to say?
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
Hi, Steph.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, there's our Patreon clip.
Oh, look, it's Andrew's honey. That he's gonna put his cutie into later.
Honey Flash!
That's a few years down the line, just saying.
I'm not talking about a baby, I'm talking about your dick.
Dude, even I was picking up what Megan was putting down.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that sounded wrong.
Okay. Stop. No. Stop. No. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
But yeah, Natalie's definitely knockout. Definitely one to look out for in the future. If you haven't already.
Damn right you should be watching.
Yeah. Speaking of you should be watching, I think we're good to move into our final character.
The title and titular character.
Yes, stars to the heaven, flowers to the earth, friendly to humanity. The warrior love herself, Cutie Honey.
So let's just get into
Honey.
it. This is a legacy character and being returned by a legacy person.
Basically, she's basically an android clone from the cells of Dr. Kisaragi's stepdaughter. Is basically built to combat the Panther Claw and Sister Jill herself. But playing this character, sometimes we hear is Haji Soi from Attack on Titan. The other time, she's Yuri from Dirty Pair. You might have heard her as Excel from Excel Saga, but we know her as Jessica Calvello. Yes, Jessica Calvello is a legacy performance to this character, having been chosen by Go Nagai himself.
Yeah, so
Nice
that's... When was that? Was that the 90s when that happened?
That was in 1998 for when ADV put out New Cutie Honey, which is the 90s OVA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's... Like, that was also, like, the 90s. I know, like, a creator specifically picking a character has happened a few times now. Obviously, the famous story of Oda picking out the new Funimation Straw Hats. But, like, that's a pretty big deal for that to be his pick. And for that to have continued to stay the pick every time they have dubbed anything Cutie Honey related for the past 30 years.
I mean, are you gonna tell Go Nagai he was wrong? I'm not.
Fair enough, yeah. You're not gonna tell Go Nagai he was wrong, no.
Don't worry, someone on Twitter will tell you that Go Nagai is just a blonde woman in California.
Wow, I can't believe this man who is horny also respects and supports the LGBT community. Clearly, they're a white woman from California. I'm specifically talking about one person, but you know there are other people who think the same. Also, speaking of Go Nagai, apparently all the chibi baby policemen were based off of his own caricature?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All caricatures of the guy himself. So
they're like little weird baby policemen, and they you know what they fucking reminded me of? You remember the little like serve bots from Mega Man Legends? That's
Do you?
What they reminded me of.
Oh my god.
Oh god, you're not wrong.
Miss Tron! Miss Tron, we want to see titties.
I have definitely seen that porn before.
Miss Tron,
yeah.
Which
now it's invading my mind.
Which Mega Man is the one that's banging Tronbon?
The one called Volnut.
Yeah, he's volnutting all right.
He's volnutting all over her, all right. That's for damn sure. Which, I mean, look at her. Who can blame him?
Mr. Jamal, can you take over the episode hosting?
Okay, yeah, please.
I mean, what?
We're almost there.
We're almost there. We're making good progress. It's not.
I will be. Do not make it so that I do the serve bot voice for the rest of this episode. I cannot.
For the love of God, please
hold
do
that
not.
voice.
Okay. In that case, you go first because you've been going first all night.
It's
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Damn it! Now I can't stop doing it. Fuck! Get it in my head, serve bots.
All right, here I'll do this.
No, I got it. I like Jessica's performance a lot. It's definitely a legacy cast, and she's got the heart of Honey down pat. I think it's a very enjoyable performance. I actually didn't. Surprisingly, I tend to think a lot of leads are the strongest performance in their shows. But in this case, I do think that she actually was kind of outdone by the rookie in Natalie Van Sistine. This is me not saying it's a bad performance, but it's very much not what I expected going in, as I had never really heard her Honey performance before.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it a lot, and it really felt up there with the newer take on Honey as a character, especially now that Honey is older, and it's a lot easier. She's very funny when she needs to be, but I think for me, the moments that Jessica really sells it as is whenever Honey is really sad, like when she's in the shower, just thinking about how, like, and you can hear how much pain's in her voice when she thinks that she's causing Aki all this trouble because she is who she is. And those moments when she goes berserk are great. So overall, I definitely really like the performance. I am definitely more inclined to go check out a lot more of Jessica's work as Honey, because frankly, the biggest thing that I associate Jessica Calvello with is as Hanji from Attack on Titan, and that character is such a 180 from Honey as a character.
She's also great in Uramichi Oni-san.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get to that, too.
For sure.
I know she's also apparently pretty good in Call of the Night, because I think she's Anko in that.
I gotta get to that one, too.
Yeah.
Somebody.
God, there's a lot of anime, baby.
There's a lot of anime and a lot of dubs, which may or may not be relevant to things coming shortly.
Anyway, go ahead.
Jessica Calvello is definitely an actress who's been around for a while, but like I said, only familiar with like a couple of key roles. This is my first real experience of her playing Cutie Honey as a character, and you can just kind of feel the genuine, like, love, passion. Like, she is playing like a cool, sexy superhero, and you can kind of just feel like the goofy enthusiasm as she's playing this character that's a little silly, a little bit ditzy, but also like has her own like emotional center and like really bounces off of like the other characters she interacts with in between Seiji and Natsuko. I like her kind of emotional arc when she's confronting the guy who looks like the evil version of her dad, and she has to actually like kind of confront her feelings about that and realizing she has the struggle of a cool thing her dad said, which she got her own with great power comes great responsibility, which is in itself a reference to Mazinger Z, which is another Go Nagai thing, which means it's all connected, fucker.
Andrew's going full Pepe Sylvia.
Live life not as a god or devil, but as a human is fucking raw as hell, actually, but also words to live by. But no, I love Jessica Calvello. She's a really cool action hero. She's a really cute, ditzy character, and I also do think she has a very good dramatic arc as the show goes on. I quite liked seeing Jessica as this character, and I would like to... the goal of Cutie Honey is to make me interested in Cutie Honey. I am now interested in checking out the other Cutie Honey stuff, be it Cutie Honey Universe or the new Cutie Honey. I'm down to check out the rest, even if I'm not gonna get adult office lady and private eye lesbian who's going for her private eyes.
Shinjuku private eyes.
No.
No.
Anyways, yes, I quite like Jessica Calvello as Cutie Honey. It's definitely a role you could tell she has a lot of reverence and love for, and you can just hear it in the performance, being supported by the wonderful direction of the show.
All right. Amon, you have anything to add?
I mean, Jessica's really good. She knows how to play Cutie Honey. Actually, I'm surprised to now realize that I associate her with Cutie Honey like now more so. But back when I first learned about Jessica Cavello, I assumed she got the role of Cutie Honey in part based off of the strength of what at the time was the role that I think she was known for, and I'm kind of surprised to learn that came after she was first cast as Cutie Honey.
Are you talking about Excel?
She was the lady who blew her voice out. That was what I knew her as. Like, that was who she was.
Yeah.
She went so hard she hurt herself. That is what I knew Jessica Cavello for.
Even back then, you kind of like knew her as like the actor who like gave 120%.
I have seen some of Excel's saga. I don't think they do that in a dub these days for obvious reasons. But like that, I don't know how you. Some performances, like, you're being an actual cartoon character now. Jessica Cavello's Excel is one of those examples. It is a little terrifying.
Sometimes this is to go even further beyond Super Saiyan.
But like, Jessica Cavello knows how to play Cutie Honey. She's really fucking funny. Like, I'm with you, Bo. Like, I got a copy of Cutie Honey Universe back when it came out on Blu-ray. Didn't fucking watch it because I don't watch anime. I just collect it. But maybe I'll crack it open finally.
Don't call me out like that.
Look, we all know what we're about. We all turn the corner of our eyes and see the comically absurd thousands and thousands of dollars sitting on our shelves in physical media.
I'm staring at a 5-shelf bookshelf right now. It's like 2 layers deep with Blu-rays on every shelf. I think I've watched maybe 10 of these.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
Love you.
I'm trying not to turn my head right now, so.
All right. Anyway, she's really good at being cute and sexy, but also in episode 3, she does a good Shinji Ikari too.
Yeah. Jessica Cavello is very legendary, and I would say this: if you're gonna go and pursue her other exploits as Honey, I would say this Honey, the one we're talking about. Apparently, she's a bit more ditzy passive than her other incarnations, so take that with a grain of salt.
I can kind of believe that. I can believe a lot of the more straightforward. Okay, straight's the wrong word, but the more forward pushing the story along goes to her better half. Yeah.
Yeah, she's very legendary here. I don't get to talk about her often, but what I do is just like she always pulls out something impressive. It's very neat to hear this legacy characters, especially when she has to go in disguise and portray many other characters undercover. I'm like, yeah, this woman can do it all, man. Like, especially in comparison to Seiyu, which I learned that it's Yui Hoi in the Japanese, except for Universe.
I think for Cutie Honey, it was a different woman every episode.
What?
Well, yeah, for most of the characters, but mainly Cutie Honey herself was always Yui Hoi, except for Universe where she portrayed Natsuko.
Yeah, I thought that. I was like, okay, that's neat.
To which I really should get around to finishing Universe at some point. I mean, I this is the type of franchise I like, and it's just so goddamn impressive. It's really hard to put into words that haven't been said. We should probably go into final thoughts.
All right.
So what do y'all think of the dub for Cutie Honey?
I'll start off. Oh, never mind, Andrew. Go ahead.
I watched this blind. I bought it because I thought it was really cool, and I like buying dubs that Discotek produces to support the people making them. Realizing that this is basically just going from Gunbuster this year to Cutie Honey later in the year, and realizing this is a straight line. This is a straight line to seeing the Gunbuster Kill la Kill shit that I adored. Fuck, the kiss at the end of episode 3 is the trajectory for Promare. Let's be frank. I love going back, and I'm not the target audience for a lot of stuff Discotek puts out, But when I do get to watch stuff like this, especially when it gets a cool new English dub, I feel like I'm getting a cool media history lesson every time. And this especially, I'm feeling that a lot. I'm getting a new appreciation for this character I knew existed, but never actually really fucked with before. And now I'm like, I liked Cutie Honey a lot. I know this is probably like the peak of the anime franchise, but I liked what I saw enough that I would consider going back and looking into other stuff. It feels like as good, as successful of a springboard for people to get interested in the series in the same way Devilman Crybaby was several years ago. And also, this dub is spectacular. David Wald, love your face, David Wald, as well as our friends at Sound Cadence Studios, Mersalenti. They do great work, continue to do great work, and we're going to continue to covering their stuff. A, because we love covering their dubs and works because they're really cool to talk about, and B, because our wonderful patron, Mersalenti, who did not request this episode, we just did it on a whim, but we feel like this one probably would have come up sooner or later anyway. So, beat you to the punch on that one, Lenti.
I'll go next. I really like this dub. I think I was one of the two people, like, super clamoring to, like, not only do an episode, but just to be like, hey, you should check this out. I think that the biggest thing I want anybody to take away from this is that, like, one, Sound Cadence Studios can do a lot of good, and that they should be brought on more often for projects across the board. Whether it be union, non-union, just, like, whatever, just please bring them on, and I wish that, like, other certain studios would start using them again. But number two, I really, really hope that this, doing well financially, or, like, if you ended up liking this dub and you ended up going out to buy it, that it shows Discotek that their dubs that they pay for are not only good, but they're wanted. And I, too, am not a target audience for very many of the things that Discotek sends out to be bought. But I will buy their dubs if they make them. Like, I know, like, one of the big things that we're doing that's coming out soon is Lovely Complex. And as of the day that we recorded this, it came out. But I have it pre-ordered, and I'm waiting for my copy. I'm probably going to go and buy all of Kenichi from them because they did that OVA series. Like, they do a lot of really great shit, and I really hope that this review and just other people enjoying it and hopefully picking up Blu-ray out of word of mouth encourages them to keep paying for dubs. Because we will buy them! Anyway,
like, even if it's a show that I've never heard of, it's like, alright, this is a cool labor of love, I will buy and support this just because of how cool labor of love it is.
Basically.
Alan?
This is great. I can't believe in the last, like, 8 months I've watched 2, I think, previously unlicensed Gainax shows with new dubs, and they're both great. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
So
you
good.
would have 2 nickels, and you're looking at these nickels being like, how the fuck did this happen?
The hard work of the people at Discotek, from what I can tell. This is good though. Like, I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. The dub's really good. It was just fun watching this show. I find that digging into a lot of the stuff from Gainax that I have not seen before is also just kind of edifying in a, like, oh, this is where these people are coming from.
Yeah.
Like, case in point, because I watched the live-action movie, and there is, like, a visual trick that Hideki Anno does in this that he would, like, steal from himself 15 years later for Shin Kamen Rider. Which I just thought was delightful. Like, this is great.
Wait, what kind of visual trick? I'm actually curious.
There's a character in both of them where he has a character where basically they undo some zippers on the bodysuit they're wearing, and that allows extra arms they have to come out. He does this with Cobalt in the live-action movie, and he does this with a spider-themed Kamen Rider villain in Shin Kamen Rider.
That's pretty funny, actually.
It looks rad as hell. I get why he did it. I just thought it was funny. It's like, wow, you've had that kicking around your brain for a long time, haven't you, Hideki?
Hideki Anno is like one of those sicko otakus who has like very specific interests that he's like going to be about for the rest of his life.
I've seen the Ultraman short he made. I know. I know.
I gotta get started on Ultraman. You good, Amon?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Go watch it immediately.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'm a sucker for anything South Cadence and Discotek puts out. Like, I can probably count on one hand how much of this stuff I've owned to this day. As a matter of fact, I too also have Lovely Complex on pre-order. Because somehow it came to me a dream that Letty was trying to sell me on something but couldn't name what the property was. You know, NDAs, that kind of thing. And I thought, man, that is so vivid. I have to pre-order what it is they're putting out, no matter what it is, because South Cadence dubs are always fantastic, no matter what their dub is. Matter of fact, oh yeah, I need to get in on Gunbuster too, because I fully...
Please watch Gunbuster. It's so fucking good.
Also, that's one of the ones where there's, like, no strings attached. You can just stream that on Crunchyroll now.
Yeah. I hope they do the same with Cutie Honey too, because this is a fantastic... Everything South Cadence does is fantastic, and I really hope we get to see more of their stuff on Crunchyroll too, which, if you want to watch the dub of Cutie Honey, there's only one way you can do it at the moment, and that is on Blu-ray from wherever you get your animes, from Crunchyroll store, from
Amazon Prime.
Wherever you get
Amazon Prime and Crunchyroll Store seem to be like the main online platforms, and yes, saying Crunchyroll Store still makes me feel a little gross.
It makes me feel very gross.
Yeah, well, at the very least, you know, please give it a chance when you're able to. Like, just buy the Blu-ray, support Discotek, support South.
Support the official release. You want more cool dubs of cool old shit? Fucking buy the dubs of the cool shit they produce. Okay, thanks, bye.
You want more fantastic stuff? Buy fantastic stuff. But as for us and what we get up to, we're the Dub Talk Podcast. We have episodes out every other Friday. We also have a Twitch gaming channel at Dub Talk Podcast. You can also view our VODs on the Dub Talk Gamer channel on YouTube.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. As for ourselves, I'm an assistant editor for this podcast. I can be found on YouTube at Jamstar1, on Twitter, and Blue Sky at Jamstar529. I'm hoping to get a solo podcast off the ground. More on that someday. Ladies and gentlemen, please plug yourselves.
Hi, my name is Andrew, aka Classy Spartan. You can find me over on the Twitter and the Blue Sky. Okay, the Twitter at MangaMan9000. You can find me on the Blue Sky. Actually, if you want my Blue Sky, it's in my fucking Twitter profile, which I changed that and Twitter yelled at me for, and it's like, of course you did. Fuck off, Musk. Anyways, if you want my Blue Sky, it's in my Twitter. But I have a Blue Sky too. But if you would like to find my other things I do, I'm also on Surreal Resolutions Podcast O&A, where we talk about the latest anime news alongside my other podcast co-host, Jet.
Hi, I'm Megan. You can follow me at Kuniro2 on both the Twitter and the Blue Skies. You can also find me running around on certain Discords, as well as my furry other half in the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV.
Good stuff.
I'm Amon. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky and co-host, etc. at AmonDuelUS. Duel has 2 U's in it. I talk about movies and comic books and music, and I have a dusty old song for you if you'd like.
Hell yeah.
I'd love to know the dusty old song you have for Cutie Honey.
Alright, so the roundabout thing was originally I was going to do a bossa nova song because I heard some bossa nova in the soundtrack, and in the process of doing that, I instead found this. I am recommending to you a bossa nova style cover of the Cutie Honey theme by Junko Iwao, who is the woman who voiced Natsuko in New Cutie Honey, who did like a whole album of like anime openings and bossa nova arrangements.
That sounds awesome, actually.
It's great.
Nice.
It's like, yeah, this... I am like kind of, one thing I do want to do is look into other versions of that opening song, because apparently, I think except for Universe, that has been the opening song for like every iteration of Cutie Honey, and I've gotten the impression they do like, they do modernize it when they do new versions of it. They don't just do the same thing over and over.
It's basically their own take on the Lupin theme that they've always kind of updated throughout the years, which I think that's rad.
As a matter of fact, the OST you hear throughout Cutie Honey is just the different instrumental versions of the theme song.
I forgot to talk about the OST. It fucks so hard.
No, I was listening to it, trying to figure out what song, like Bossa Nova song I was listening. It's like, wait a minute, a bunch of this is just the same song in different genres. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what makes it stands out in my mind.
Dude,
so.
weird OVAs are so cool. Like, they are, like,
Great.
it seems like a lost art in a lot of ways, but, like, man, going back through the history of the weirdo sicko, like, OVAs, it's like, man, there's a lot of weird creative bullshit that they got away with. Love it.
Yeah, that's the thing about OVAs. You can get away with stuff you can't on podcast TV. So
You also get a
that's
lot more.
always good.
You also get a lot more female presenting nipples. And
Thanks, Tumblr.
Yeah.
Sometimes those nipples are also missiles and guns and like demons. There's a lot. There's a lot of uses for nipples and titties.
Yeah. So as for the podcast itself, it can be found on Dub Talk Podcast on YouTube. We have a Ko-Fi if you want to support us. We also have a Patreon too, to which if you spend at least $5, you get your name shouted out on the internet. And our $5 tier, we have Megan's mom and dad and Michelle Travis. But for $10, you can enter into our quarterly raffle, to which you can choose the episode of your choosing. Just please follow the rules accordingly. In which, in our $10 tier, we have Anthony Brown, Kali Leistikau, Kim Wasu, Marissa Lenti, and Otaku Anthony. We'd also like to thank our theme song composer, Gabriel Porcinelli, aka Pop Poco in the Distance. They can be found in the Tumblr link below in our description.
Did you just say Tumblr? Wait, was it a Tumblr link?
I thought it was Tumblr. Was it?
I'm not gonna fight you too much. I'm too tired at this point. Either way,
Yeah.
they do incredible work. That song is so good.
They're on a bunch
Yeah.
of social media sites. They're easy to find.
Yeah. So as we close out this episode, any last words?
Honey Flash.
Honey Flash.
Honey.
And also,
Flash.
Astral Res is fucking magic. What the fuck? How? Anyways, continue to support Discotek Media. They continue to put out incredible releases, and they continue to literally sell their soul so that this thing looks far, like, maybe just slightly less grainy, and they found it in a Ukrainian dumpster, and it has, like, 20 episodes of a lost dub. I can't believe we went this entire recording without referencing Space Defender Linguini. I'm proud of us.
So, from all of us here at Dub Talk, we wish you good night. Otaku on. Keep on being magical and Honey Flash.
Rock over Boston, rock on Chicago.
Natsuko's gonna get a honey flash, if you know what I'm saying.
I was also found in a Ukrainian dumpster.
Alright, good night, everybody.